Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. Winning cures everything. This is Friday, March 27th. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
There he is. And we have got a few things to talk about. First things first, go to the website. WinningCuresEverything.com is the site. You can subscribe to the show on whatever your favorite podcast app is. We're also on YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, etc. Share the show out. Tell your buddies about it. We would appreciate that. The show is brought to you every day by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. They've got 6 incredible sports books that will be opening again at some point, and you can find more information on that at tunicatravel.com, along with the shows that will be coming back through town. They've had to reschedule a lot of things. It is what it is. So go ahead, check that out, tunicatravel.com, winningcureseverything.com, and let's go ahead and fire in. Topic number 1 here, the MLB and the MLBPA, that's the Players Association, have agreed on when they can start back playing baseball, which is obviously a big topic around here because we need some sports. We need something, right? Now, here is part of the agreement. This is obtained by ESPN's Jeff Passan. The players and MLB primarily agreed that the 2020 season will not start until each of the following conditions are met. Are you ready for this? There's 3 of them. There are no bans on mass gatherings that would limit the ability to play in front of fans. However, the commissioner could still consider the use of appropriate substitute neutral sites where economically feasible. Number 2, they can come back when there are no travel restrictions throughout the United States and Canada. And then number 3, medical experts determined that there would be no health risks for players, staff, or fans, with the commissioners and union still able to revisit the idea of playing in empty stadiums. Now, what this says to me is they will probably not be playing baseball this year. That's my guess. Is that what you kind of take from this?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that that's the case or not because we don't know. Everything hinges upon medical science. At some point in time, we will come up with a cure and
Correct.
a far better treatment, or a treatment cure and a vaccine. And if we come up with those, and then they can, have everything. I have no idea if you fast tracked it or what. And I'm sure a lot of it depends on how the treatment is made and how the vaccine is made, how complicated it is. But whatever it is that they come up with, if they could get that in the hands of people and everybody can go out and get their new shots, their flu shots, then we're fine.
Agreed. The only issue there is medical, professionals have told us for quite a while now that a vaccine will take 12 to 18 months to not only get it working correctly, get it fully tested, and then get it in the hands of the public.
Mass produce it to the entire country.
Right.
But if you were able to vaccinate all of these players and all of these teams and all of these staffs, then at the end of the day, they're vaccinated? Why can't they play?
I mean, you got a valid point. I don't know.
You won't be able to monitor did people actually get the vaccination or not if they come into the ballpark. True. There'll be no way to regulate that. I mean, we can't monitor that today if you're an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
But you can monitor the players, the umps, the coaches, the people that have to be there for the games to take place.
You got a valid point. I'm curious, the no travel restrictions throughout the United States and Canada. There is, a blocking of the border right now that will eventually go away. But as it stands, nobody's getting in, nobody's getting out.
I'm not saying that that's all going to happen. I'm just saying I'm not saying it can't happen or won't happen.
Yeah, they are. There's no formal framework in the agreement. The owners and players both want to play as many games as possible. There's flexibility on both sides because they are willing to extend the regular season into October and then play neutral site playoff games in November and even add doubleheaders to the schedule. Like they want to play. Obviously, the union agreed not to sue the league for full salaries in the event that the 2020 season never takes place. I mean, the guys are going to be paid. It may not be as much as their contract stipulates, but eventually they will be
going to come in is, will it count as an accrued year? Okay?
Yeah.
If you're
it's
an
going to be weird.
Indians fan right now and you know your ownership has basically told you the Red Sox ownership said a year and a half ago, we're not re-signing Mookie. We're going to try, but we're not making him the highest paid player in baseball. He says he wants to be, so prepare yourself to lose him. Indian fans, same thing. We cannot make him the highest player in baseball. He's going to want to be one of the top pays. They got 2 years with him.
Yeah.
If we don't get baseball this year, but he's getting paid by the Indians, does that count as an accrued year? Or do they still have 2 more years or not?
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Questions like that are going to matter.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the single hardest thing to figure out in this thing. And some players are going to want it to be an accrued year, and some are not, because some have massive incentives that they think are easily hit. And if it's an accrued year and you hit the year of your contract, you get this accelerator for your payment. And that's not the first year of my contract because we didn't play baseball. Lindor might say, no, this year counts because I want to be a free agent a year early.
That's true.
And I don't know the answer to those things. I'm way above my lead in trying to speak to those. I can see as a fan, I could see the pros and the cons. As a player, I could see the pros and the cons of it being and from the management and ownership side.
Oh yeah, I mean, because everybody's going to be a year
winners
older.
And losers, but at some point in time, they're going to have to draw a line in the sand and say it's this for everybody. So it's either some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it.
Well, the MLBPA, the union, will have to figure out what is best for the entire Players Association, for all of the players, and then go from there. And I'm sure that MLB will kind of go along with whatever they end up doing, but you got to look at who gets paid, whether or not they get paid all of it, because these teams are not making money right now.
No, you're not. You're not paying people $20 million this year.
No, that's not happening.
This is not happening.
No, you have got that.
Nor should it happen. By the way, I know I'm not proposing that it should either.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are 100% right. Let's go on and move out of baseball. Let's talk about Kirk Herbstreit for just a minute. He, according to TMZ, now he was on ESPN radio, etc. He stated he would be surprised if there is college football, if there is NFL football this fall. His quote was, "I'll be shocked if we have NFL football this fall. If we have college football, I'll be so surprised if that happens." He said, just because, from what I understand, people that I listen to, you're 12 to 18 months from a vaccine, Herbstreit continued. I don't know how you let these guys go into locker rooms and let stadiums be filled up and how you can play ball. I just don't know how you can do it with the optics of it. He went on to Feinbaum's show last night. He said, don't get me wrong, if there's anyone that wants the college football season more than me, I'd love to meet them. I hope and pray there is a football season. I hope we are in a position where we can have a football season. I'm not trying to create drama or hysteria. I'm just trying to be real. I think that's about as real as you can get. You and I have been on top of this for well over a week now. We had Cecil Hurt on the show on Wednesday to discuss it, and it is a very real possibility. Now, obviously, we were just talking about whether or not baseball would come back. If we're even talking about football not coming back, we really got to be prepared mentally for everything to be completely different for quite a while. Do you agree with Herbstreit here? Yeah,
like I said, all of this can be solved with medical marvels, and I don't know what those are going to be, but at some point in time, I think we're going to be released back into the wild to live our lives. He might be right, though. I have read and listened to and heard people say that, a realistic thing, if you want, to really take care of this, we're looking at 12 to 18 months of this kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. So in our group chat, we talk about the Champions League game in Milan that really led to the humongous outbreak in Italy. You do something like this before you're right, because even South Korea and China are starting to see the numbers jump back up, even after they've held everybody in and quarantined everybody for months. So if you release people too soon, you're going to have the same problem on your hand if you don't have a vaccine ready.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. No, you have to have an answer before you release everybody back.
Yeah. Which
like
is
that was always
nuts.
My thought process. I didn't really understand everybody needs to quarantine for 14 days because my thought was if we all take a time out for 14 days, but this bug still lives in the wild, as soon as we go out and we all start touching the same stuff we touched before and we got it, or one person has it, they were quarantined for 14 days, does it just go away in 14 days?
No chance.
Like, let's say I have it. I'm asymptomatic. I show no symptoms whatsoever. I stay locked into a bubble for 14 days. I walk out that bubble. Like, I'm good to be around normal people.
Well, I mean, apparently the thing...
That's how it works.
No, apparently, like, this thing dies in about 14 days, right? So, like, you will no longer be contagious. You will no longer have the disease in 14 days after you get it.
Right.
But... yeah, because like they've talked about, it can live on the surface of plastic or steel for like 3 days, et cetera, right? So there's all these different things about it. But, I think the biggest thing is the longer you stay at home, it's the whole flattening the curve thing, right? The longer you stay at home, the less overwhelmed our healthcare system will be. That is the purpose of this. However, if we're
talking about that means, all right, so we took this curve, right?
Right.
So what goes up must come down, all right? Physics has to stay into place. We're trying to stop it from doing this. We're trying to make it do this, right? When you take something that's a spike and you push it down, it has to go out wide.
Right.
So at some point in time, yes, we don't want to strain our healthcare because we don't want to have the calamities and the problems that these other countries have had, but by flattening that curve, we are also extending this thing out even further.
Agreed. Like I would say this, it is probably better for everybody to get it at one time. That way you've got the antibodies in your system, right? The bad thing about that is I don't know of a single country's healthcare system that is able to take on when hundreds of millions of people, however many people it is. Because the United States population is what, like 337, whatever.
400 million people.
So if you've got over 100 million people that have the disease, then you have, 10% of them have to be hospitalized? I think that's around the number.
Yeah. So it's like 10 million people have to be hospitalized.
10 million people have to be hit. Yeah, and there ain't enough beds. There ain't enough anything to be able to deal with that. So you are going to have a massive number of deaths on your hand.
Yep.
So by flattening the curve, you're really just trying to prevent the number of deaths. Like that's all you're doing.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong.
I'm with you. I see where you're coming from.
I'm trying to figure out the mechanics of it because I haven't really thought. I haven't thought that much. I guess I haven't thought about it from this perspective because we haven't talked about baseball just not happening at all, and then
football not happening.
Not happening at all. Like we've talked about, can we start playing if we get this figured out by October? But I don't know that that's realistic. I don't know that that's happening.
I don't think so either. I mean, because like we talked about with Cecil, you still got to have, 7 to 8 weeks